And welcome back to Jeff Koinange Live, right here at Citizen Television. My guest tonight is the bullfighter of Ikolomani, former senator from Kakamega County, Dr. Boni Khalwale. Keep tweeting. The tweets are coming in very thick and very fast. And the good doctor revealed something very fascinating right before the break, if you missed that. And then we need to just talk about that a little bit before moving on. Dr. It's about the swearing in. You were talking about three groups of thought, if you will, or three camps within the swearing in. And I guess it makes a lot of sense because after the swearing in, Miguna, when he got to Canada, started saying that there were traitors within NASA. Talk about David Ndii and Mogaya. Those are traitors within NASA. Is it because there was so much disagreement?
No, I have a lot of respect for Miguna, and I would want to use this program in his absence to discuss him.
Okay.
But the long and short of it is that Miguna has never tested power in his life. He's never been in any elective office. So that was the nearest he was getting to becoming something in politics. And therefore the excitement is quite understandable. It was a wild shot for him to start calling everybody a traitor, Khalwale a traitor, David Ndii a traitor, Magaya a traitor. He had earlier on called Kalonzo Musyoka and Wetangula the same. So I think we shouldn't put too much premium on that. What is important is when I say my school of thought was that we should have a proper oath, I was supported by Raila. And that's why on more than two occasions, he came out publicly and said he was not going to take an oath like the one of Besigye. He would take an oath like the one of Mnangagwa, the current president of Zimbabwe.
Right.
And that is where we are working towards. Now, my biggest disappointment is that we seem now to be incubating a situation whereby NASA is getting hurt and Jubilee is starting to look good.
Yeah.
Jubilee should never look good because Jubilee is very bad. And it's only NASA which has the semblance of the future. Why do I say this? It was a lesson for me that huge turnout of Kenyans in Uhuru Park was a statement that NASA did not belong to the core principles. It was a people's movement. So we needed to respond very quickly on the queries around 30th by telling the people nothing but the whole truth. It has not been done.
No, it wasn't.
I don't see any difficulty whatsoever in one or all the principals saying the following, that sorry, some of us didn't come to Uhuru Park, or Uhuru Park was not properly managed, because on the 29th, there was dinner hosted by Raila Odinga and Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the UN, had sent Olusegun Obasanjo to represent them, to prevail upon the four principles not to take the oath.
Not to take.
And it was agreed that they were not going to take. So I believe that that message was then conveyed to the Jubilee side by, again, the agent of Antonio Guterres. And this is why Jubilee withdrew the police, because there was no swearing in the following day.
So what changed?
I'm coming to that. Because there was no swearing in the following day.
Yeah.
People ask, where was Wetangula, where was Kalonzo, where was Mudavadi, and Mudama Khalwale, where were you? The answer is as follows. We were where? We were waiting for the Prime Minister to join us, for us now to talk to the country about 30th, because swearing in would not be there. Now, while we were waiting, thanks to you guys, you paid a little bit by being switched off.
Yes,
and
we did.
NTV.
Yes.
You mobilized for us. And Wananchi filled the park.
Right.
And Raila did the right thing. He said, we cannot leave thousands of our supporters like that and not tell them anything. So he proceeded to the park.
And where were the rest of you?
The rest of us were where we were supposed to assemble to take a common stand in view of what we had agreed with the representative Antonio Guterres. Now, in a period of 15 minutes, a time that you do not have allowed us to drive to Uhuru Park, the function was over. So what is the position? The position is, and with all due respect to all Kenyans, that there was no swearing in at Uhuru Park. Because if there was swearing in at Uhuru Park, you would have seen a judge in accordance with the law. You would have seen the various protocols that accompany that kind of function. You would have seen at Uhuru Park, beyond just the politicians, but the accompaniments, people invited, local and international. Members of our families would have been invited. Did you see Kalonzo's wife there? Did you see Mudavadi's wife there?
Well, Kalonzo's wife couldn't have been there. But wait a minute.
I'm giving you an example. Did you see Raila's wife there, for example?
No.
You know, because it was something that was on the spur of the moment. So it is a non-issue. I would like the core principles to come and face the public the way I'm doing. We explained that we have pushed this far. All that we were doing, and which was right, we were responding to the principle of cause and effect.
But
the principle of cause and effect, Jeff, you asked me to explain this. President Uhuru has responded to effect. Raila was responding to the cause. But the cause was the mismanaged election. So Raila said, I'll push up to the end. Hallelujah. He did it and he has done it very well. The country must listen to him. Uhuru, the effect was that the IEBC and the Chief Justice, they have given me legality, let me go and be sworn in. But for God's sake, he doesn't have legitimacy. For God's sake, Raila doesn't have access to state power. So all of them are not 100% president. They should sit so that we talk. The country is divided.
Yeah, that we know, Dr. Ari, that we know. But here's the deal.
Yeah.
Why didn't Raila explain that day then? Why did he pick up the Bible and swear himself or be sworn in by Miguna?
That is your opinion.
What do you mean? It was on
I
camera?
have told you that he was responding to the cause. Uhuru was responding to the effect, the principle of cause and effect. It was discovered thousands of years ago by Isaac Newton, who spoke to the law of cause and the effect. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
So President Uhuru would not expect just to push all Kenyans and not see any reaction from us. We have reacted, and he's not looking good. If you think he's looking good, where is Jimmy Wanjiki today? What were they doing to him? Where is Miguna today? Where is the young student who was shot by the police at the university yesterday? And all manner of bad things. So, because we are not talking to our people, now the so-called the keyboard soldiers with very nimble fingers are making it worse. You saw in a public function a very junior fellow called Joho dressing down a co-principal. It was not necessary. It is because Joho does not have information. Joho did not have the information the co-principals have. The so-called keyboard soldiers are calling co-principals cowards. They are even calling me a coward. Bufight a coward? No, it is not true. If I was a coward, how come the government brought 2 trucks and 2 Land Cruisers in my home in Malinya because they feared that I was having firearms? If I was a coward, how come I led demonstrations in Nairobi and in Kakamega? If I was a coward, how come I'm the only standing politician in NASA who was arrested and arraigned in court because of those fracases? So there's no cowardice here. It's a question of pushing an agenda. Our agenda is that Jubilee is unable to run the country the way Kenya is supposed to be run. We landed from Kibaki and Raila when they were what were they called?
Co-principals.
Co-principals, or co-presidents, or co-leaders. It works in this country. So we want a situation whereby the country works, not a situation whereby obvious things like tribalism, obvious things like corruption are committed by the government, and the government looks the other side. The issue of tribalism We thought the president was going to correct it, now looking for legacy. What have you seen? 54% of the executive is in the hands of two communities, one from Mount Kenya, another one from the Rift Valley. That is not good. Corruption. We thought Eurobond 1 had ended, but now they have come with Eurobond 2. Eurobond 2, it is already corruption even before they start spending. Why? Where is the prospectus for that Eurobond? To tell Kenyans that we have borrowed 202 billion Kenya shillings, we are going to spend on the following. The prospectus should be made public. It's not there. 2, where on earth can you borrow money and the interest paid is more than the principal amount? Kenyans are going to pay 323 billion shillings as interest on the principal amount of 202 billion shillings. That is very bad economics. It is not acceptable.
Yeah, but you're not there in Parliament or in the Senate to talk about this. So, you know, you're just hot air now. Nobody will listen to you because you're no longer in office. But let me ask you this. If the co-principals were together in this whole NASA coalition, why wasn't Kalonzo sworn in maybe after? How come he still hasn't been sworn in?
Because Kalonzo belongs to the school of thought that said, if I must take oath, I should take oath that gives me access to state power. And that had not been concluded. And because on the eve of the 30th, as I said earlier, it was agreed that there would be no swearing in. Poor Kalonzo, he's been thrown into panic because he wants Raila's constituency to translate into his constituency. He's been talking too fast, too often.
So what happens to him now?
He's a politician. Things change.
Is NASA still together? Is the coalition still strong?
NASA is facing very serious challenges. Let me tell you. You saw it when Joho was dressing down Kalonzo Musyoka.
Yeah.
It was very unfortunate. You've seen the kind of stuff that is tweeted by the so-called keyboard soldiers of ODM. It's all because the young people have not been given information. The moment they'll be given information, it will include not only what happened on 30th, but also the other arrangements that we had before 30th, up to and including the contents of the NASA agreement. The NASA agreement provides that at the election of 2022, ODM would not present a presidential candidate. It's only ANC for Kenya and Wiper. This would become obvious to members. They have no opportunity because there is even a greater agenda, i.e., how do we force reforms so that computers don't decide who is the winner, but the voter decides who is the winner. So that is the reform agenda that we are all attempting to push, but because of mismanagement of 30th,
yes,
now that has now been completely drowned by the noise that you see coming around.
Correct. And there's a lot of infighting, isn't there?
There is a lot of noise amongst some of the supporters. If there was infighting, you would have had Raila complain about the absence of his 3 colleagues. He hasn't up to now. In fact, in that split second when he spoke at the park, he attempted to explain why they were not there, but he didn't have enough time. So because it wants to suit some weak leaders who want to hang on coattails of core principles to get what they want at 2022, they would like a situation whereby they push our captain to do things away from the agreement. There is talk, and it is correct, that ODM is the bigger brother. Why is it the bigger brother? It's because they provided the presidential candidate. Even in Jubilee, when it was TNA. Republican and TNA, TNA was the bigger brother because it was providing the presidential candidate. Right. Tomorrow, if ANC then presents a presidential candidate, the majority of members of parliament will be ANC.
But tell me something.
That's how coalitions work all over the world.
Sure. But it looks like the Luya nation,
yes,
Mulembe nation,
yes,
has gotten yet another raw deal.
Yes.
You've been slapped in the face again.
By who?
By your own coalition.
No. No, you are running away from the reality.
Help me.
Eh? Is your name betraying your political affiliation?
No, you didn't go there. You didn't
I don't go there. Let me tell you.
Yes.
Let me tell you. Where my community would say it has gotten a raw deal would be what they have gotten from the Jubilee government by dictates of the Constitution. The Constitution says the president shall form an all-inclusive government in recognition of regional and ethnic balance. So the president has closed one eye to that, and that is why the lawyers would feel they have gotten a raw deal on the Jubilee side. But on the NASA side, oh my God, if we were to form our government, we would get far much more than anybody in that coalition.
Okay, let's look.
The only way we can say we are about to get a raw deal is if, and God forbid, Raila and ODM were to back out of the NASA agreement.
And what if they do? What if they do, which they might? Everyone says, common sense dictates.
If they do,
Raila will run in 22.
If they do, we are going to call it bluff. Who doesn't know that in NASA, the Abaluyo community are the largest voters, block voters? If you did know, then you wait for the census next year. We are no longer number 2. We are number 1 in terms of population. And this is why your age mates in Kakamega, they have got 13 children, and you have got 3 children. I mean, that is our nature.
So,
Yes.
so you're busy procreating.
Not we are busy, we are living the way we have always lived.
Okay, but would you go it alone as in Luya Nation? If this MOU was reneged on?
No, nobody will go it alone. Let me tell you.
As in
if for example,
yes.
The worst happened and somebody reneged on the NASA coalition, we would not go it alone. We will explore other options because we are extremely attractive.
Because of
the
the
largest voting bloc, 2022, the Luya numerical strength is going to be felt.
So where does that leave Mudavadi right now? Where does that leave him? Or Enwetangula for that matter?
You know what I don't understand is that why is social media even affecting the mainstream media like you guys? It is social media, upon pronouncing that Mudavadi is a coward, that has made you, the mainstream media, think that Mudavadi has a problem. Mudavadi has no problem because in my own assessment, on 30th, he was not given an opportunity to prove whether he was a coward or not. Neither was Raila given an opportunity. It would have been an exercise of proving cowardice or otherwise if on that day Raila had taken the proper oath. This thing you are saying, oh, you judge TJ Kajwang with treason. It is nothing. You cannot pass in any court because the oath they took, it was just drama. For you to be found to have committed treason, you should have taken an oath that says that I, Raila Amolo Odinga, swear that I am the president of the Republic of Kenya and the commander-in-chief of the Kenya Defense Forces.
Right.
He didn't say that.
No, he said people's president.
The people's president. So when you go to a court, any judge will throw it out. It is just drama.
Yeah.
So how can somebody use that to say Mudavadi is a coward, for example? Mudavadi made a historical mistake long time ago, and my community forgave him.
Is he still your flag bearer, as far as you know? For now.
For NASA.
Yeah, no. Well, okay. If
NASA is staying together,
okay,
flag bearer will emerge from either Wiper or ANC or Fort Kenya.
Not ODM.
Not ODM. That is in black and white, and the document is legal. It is filed with the Registrar of Political Parties, and the signatures of the core principles were witnessed by the respective secretaries generals of their party.
Will the coalition stand? Will it last?
It will last depending on how it is managed. If it is mismanaged, it will not stand. In the same way, President Uhuru's government will stand if he decides to to manage power. So far, I haven't seen any attempt to manage power. If you allow the kind of things Matiang'i has been doing to continue, that is mismanagement of power. If you allow the kind of decisions they've been making in terms of constituting government and other national appointments, that is not management of power. I tell you, when we got independence, and you know it, our problem was poverty, disease, and ignorance. But today, we have added to that corruption and tribalism. I don't have to be a member of Jubilee or NASA or anything to accept that that is wrong. And a time will come, let me tell you, when the youth on both sides will close ranks and say, let's end these things.
Enough is enough.
Yes, and that's why you see the story on social media is that we want younger leaders, because the young people are starting to give up on mature guys like you and I.
Correct.
Yes.
Are the young ones as tribalistic as us, or are they less tribalistic?
They are less tribalistic, only that because they learn from us, we are teaching them the bad manners.
All the wrongs.
Yeah.
All the wrongs. Tell me something. Did Jubilee make Miguna a hero? Did they create this aura now? Because he's gone, he was deported, he's fought it. The High Court has ruled that he gets his passport back. He's due back on March 26th. Have they made this man?
They have made him a hero. Because what wrong had Miguna done? Miguna had done nothing. Miguna and TJ Kajwang, they just demonstrated to the Jubilee think tank that they're shallow. Because they played around with them, showed them that we are swearing in when it was just symbolic, because the oath was not a binding oath. It was not an illegal oath. It was not a legal oath. So they played around with it, and what happens? The government gets excited. They started the drama they started with Miguna. It was unnecessary. If the president had been allowed to think it through, I believe he would upon realizing that the oath that was taken was not amounting to accessing state power, he would have just said, forget about it.
Yeah.
Today, if you forget about Miguna, that's the end of it. You forget about the case of TJ Kajwang. You allow Raila to move. You forget about passports. There will be no problem. Life will go on. Then we shall build our country. And this country does not belong to a single community. It does not belong to a single coalition or political party. You can only wish that it be the case. We are all stakeholders by right.
Absolutely.
Look. If you choose to deport me, for example, probably you might choose to deport me to Uganda, where I have got some of my distant cousins, because we have lawyers in Uganda.
Yes.
But I found myself in Kenya, born in Kenya. You can't change the fact.
Okay, you can't change the fact, but if you were to change things from the inside, in other words, if the president or his deputy or their people were to offer you some kind of government position, would you take it?
A beautiful question. Let me tell you, I want to reveal to Kenyans that I have had an opportunity to work with Jubilee. Soon after the election of 8th of August, 2017, I had a discussion on the invitation of none other than the deputy president himself with him. And he asked me, could we work together for now the election of 26th of October? And I gave it my deep thought. I saw people go to State House, Luya leaders, and I thought it was the wrong thing to do. Why? I would not have taken 4 years. 4 years ensuring that our people are in NASA and expect that I would take 4 weeks to remove them from NASA and take them to Jubilee. I would have been seen to be a con man if I had worked with Jubilee at that time. The people were tempted. Ababu, Otuoma, Akaranga, Marende, and others, they delivered nothing because they were trying to serve their own interests. They had their eye on a possible future appointment. That is not the stuff I'm cut off. I live the truth. Let me tell you why. There's an old American man, an old black American man, who told somebody, "You're stupid." So the guy was pissed off and said, "What are you talking about? What do you mean stupid?" The old man told him, "Stupid is knowing the truth, seeing the truth, and still believing lies." You and now, yes, you and I, we know the truth in Kenya. We see the truth every day, up to and including this afternoon's fiasco of arresting Wanjiki. And still, having known and seen that truth, you open yourself to being lied to. Why would Jubilee want to lie to me?
So what did you tell Ruto?
Yeah?
What did you tell Ruto?
It was in good faith that the time available is not possible for me to change the people to deliver. And the delivery at that time was, you should get them votes. And there were no Jubilee votes in Kakamega. There are no Jubilee votes in Luyaland. They are not there. I am not a small God to go and change them. It will need another 5 years for us again to give them fresh orientation. I'm not ruling out the possibility of the leadership of my community choosing to work with another community other than the ones we have worked with. But that possibility is there.
So you wouldn't take a cabinet job?
It is not there. No, listen, there are 22 cabinet positions.
Yes.
They are taken.
They're not all taken.
Do you intend to find out from the president who he intends to sack so as to replace me with that
You're
guy?
still not answering the question. You're still not answering.
Jeff.
Yeah. Jeff. There's a couple of slots left.
It is neither here or there. Let me tell you, why this is coming up is the media came up with a frontline story that Khalwale is being considered for
a cabinet position.
A cabinet position. I read it. I shut my mouth because I didn't know about it. I had nothing to say. So I was given that job. And then I was asked to accept it. And then some people said I can't take. Others said I didn't take. And then the truth came to pass. Again, the truth, according to that black old man. The truth came to pass that this is not true. It's a lie.
Right.
It was actually a question of what you guys call in good English, that being led up a garden path.
Okay, what about an ambassadorial position? You know, some position. Would you take?
Have you been sent to talk to me so that I get a job?
No.
Please start the interview.
So,
if it is a posting,
yes,
to Paris, for example,
yes,
ask me if I know French, and I'll tell you. And I'll tell you.
I see you're leaving the door open. That you've left the door open somewhere.
No, yeah. Look, a presidential appointment. Let's now sober up. A presidential appointment is made by the president.
Correct.
But when you serve, you don't serve the president's party.
Yes.
You serve the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah.
I am lucky, son of a Changa brewer, to have had access to good education. I am a professional. If an opportunity presents itself for me to discharge my talents, that bridge, we would cross it when we get to it.
Wow, speaking like a true diplomat already.
How is that?
Doctor, you want to take a break, come back, talk some more. There's some MP wants to propose change the constitution so that we have a powerful prime minister and a weak president.
Big mistake. Big mistake, because our captain, the people's president, Raila Odinga, has said we must sit and dialogue. Some of things we want to dialogue about is exactly what that MP is doing. That MP is doing it at the behest of Jubilee. Let us talk so that a good idea like what that MP has can become a better idea by receiving bipartisan support.
So you support it in a way?
I do. You know why I support? even if Wetangula becomes the president of Kenya and his deputy is Kalonzo Musyoka, we will still polarize the country because the executive will be seen to be in the hands of two people. We have to rethink it so that we introduce a model that accommodates beyond two strategic positions.
Absolutely.
So it's a good thinking, but how they are going about it is wrong. Let us sit together. We will come with crazy ideas. They will come with good ideas. But our crazy ideas, together with their good ideas, is the beginning of dialogue. And then we'll reach a meeting point, and that will be our Kenya.
There you go.
Not somebody's Kenya.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for that.
No. You'll become clearer. I mean, if you make me, for example,
Yes.
the ambassador of country of TM Kutu. Okay.
No, Wakanda. Wakanda.
Where is Wakanda?
It's in Black Panther, the movie.
Oh, okay. Wakanda. If you make me the ambassador of that, I haven't seen Black Panther yet.
Yeah.
If you make me the ambassador, I will not fit there because on Saturday I have to do bullfighting. So how will I do it and I'm in that foreign country? By the way, this weekend we are bullfighting in
I want
Marinya.
to talk about that as well. We have pictures of you bullfighting. We have pictures. Wow, Jeff Koinange live. Fascinating insights by the bullfighter of Ikolomani. By the way, do you still, you are raising some little bull to be, is that ready for fighting now? The little one?
Which one? The tiny one?
Yes.
The one you saw on tweet?
Yes.
No. It takes 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah,
what about the people who feed their bulls bangi?
You like bangi?
No.
Oh,
but is it legal?
Yeah?
Is it legal?
It depends. It depends on where you are.
But if you're ambassador to Spain,
yes,
and then up in Pamplona, in Barcelona,
yes.
They have the bull run.
Yes.
The bullfighter could be in the bull run.
No,
hold that thought.
Kibaki was an impossible fellow. Do you know Kibaki gave me money and sponsored 10 bullfighters to Madrid. And we stayed in Madrid for 2 weeks because Kibaki wanted to convert the bullfighting of Kakamega into a tourist attraction. And we traveled on our own passports, but our entire process was underwritten by the Exchequer.
Wow.
So what we are doing is not small as some people think. In fact, I normally sit and laugh. I say, it is so big that the small-minded people are unable to see.
Monica, let's take a break. Let's come back. This is good stuff. Keep tweeting at @KBonimTetezi, at Koinange Jeff, and also at Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag, as always, is JK Live. We promise to read your tweets when we come back and talk about other things that the bullfighter is revealing. By the way, Kabando says a big hello. I'll read his tweet when we come back.
Oh, thank you very much.
Jeff Koinange Live takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.